What's poppin', man? It's your boy Trip G. We are here again for another episode of Blunt Convos. I got a special guest with us today, man. My motherfucking OG, Bamboo the Iceberg, man. How you doing, sir? You good?
Yeah, I'm straight.
Man, you look good, man. You look good, man. I'm glad to have you on the episode today, man. So, man, let's get right into it. Let's get right into the Blunt Convos, man. I wanted to ask you, because I know, of course, we family. Our family come from Chandler.
Yeah.
I've only been to Chandler like twice. You know
I
what I'm
didn't even
saying?
know you've been that many times.
I only been like twice, if I can remember, if that's even it.
Yeah.
But I wanted to ask you, what was life like in Chandler for you growing up?
Well, the way it was, the whole situation with me being in Chandler was my mom had got a divorce, so she went back home with her parents. That's where her parents was.
Okay.
So me being in Chandler was kind of like a back and forth thing. So like,
Yeah.
I would be in Chandler and then I'll be here.
Yeah.
So like, I got the experience in Chandler, the country.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
my grandpa had us baling hay and
Yeah.
cutting chicken heads off and crazy stuff. But then come to the city and it's, different. So,
Yeah. City shit. City shit. So you were born here in the city, or were you born in Chandler?
Born in the city.
Okay. And like, what was it like? How frequent were you going back and forth?
Man, like I say, at first it was like every other year,
Mm-hmm.
like when I was littler, like, cause she got a divorce when I think I was like 6.
Yeah.
And then when I got towards like, I want to say middle school or even towards high school,
Right.
it would be like every semester, cause
Right.
I got kicked out of school every semester and had to go there. So that's kind of what that was. It was on me really that
Yeah.
I had to go back and forth, but yeah.
Makes sense. So how old were you when you got settled in Oklahoma City?
When we finally came where I was here for majority of the time in the city, I think I was about 10 or 11. Yeah.
Uh-huh. And
10 or
like,
11.
where did you go to school when you?
I first went to school at Britton Elementary,
Yeah.
and then we went to Hoover,
Mm-hmm.
and because the districts had got changed up. Yeah, so it was at Hoover Middle School, and then, it changed again, and then I went to Northwest Class, and then it changed again. I went to John, like the school.
Yeah,
I've
yeah.
been everywhere. That's why I know so many different type of people, because
Right.
it keep changing up on me.
Right. That makes sense. And your brother, how many years are y'all apart?
2.
So like growing up with him, were y'all close?
Oh yeah.
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 And he was on the move, obviously, with you, back and forth type
Yeah,
shit.
yeah, but he focused more on sports than I did. I focused more on streets.
Yeah.
So then that's kind of where we split. Like, I spent a lot of my time with the street people, and he
Yeah.
didn't. So
Makes sense. What age were you when you got involved in the streets?
well, my older cousin, he went to prison when I was about 9 or 10, and he started me because he wanted money while he was locked up. So what he did was he contacted me and my uncle, his dad, and had set up to where I was selling his dope for him at my grandma's house.
Crazy.
Yeah, so
Crazy.
I'm like 9 or 10, and I'm selling dope rocks out the back window of my grandma's house.
Crazy.
And that's how I got started into
Yeah.
it. So,
On me.
yeah.
So when you moved here, y'all was on the east side, right?
No. Well, yeah. We was in Wildwood. That's right.
Okay. And when did you get to the west side? Because the
Well,
band I know, west side. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
See, what happened was we was living in Wildwood, and off of 65th in Solo. My homeboy Solo, his family moved 2 houses down, and they stayed there for about a year, and then they moved to the west side.
Crazy.
So me and him was so close that when he moved to the west side, I just started going to the west side.
Yeah.
So I was kind of like, my mom was on the east side, but I was always going to the west side to hang out with them. So that's how the west side got.
And how old were you then?
I want to say when I met Solo, it was about 13, 14, yeah.
Crazy. When you started like getting into like, trapping for your cousin, were you in a gang at that time or anything?
When he got out of prison, that's basically when I started gang banging.
And how old was that?
It was probably about when I was like 11.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because see, what happened is him and my other cousin Johnny, they was like my idols growing up.
Yeah.
They didn't know it, but you know,
Super
that's who
tracker
I
race.
always wanted to be like. And so they was from the set, so I figured I needed to be from the set.
Straight up, straight up. And then of course, you know, going to the West Side set you from that wasn't your territory.
No, it was not.
How did you thrive through that shit?
Solo
Yeah.
helped me a lot, cause what happened was we started our own clique. Me and Solo did. It was called the West Side Lunatics, and in this clique, it was Crips, Bloods, and even different Crip sets. Like it was Solo and them was from Boo Hill. I had another homeboy named Nutcase. He was from Shotgun.
Yeah.
And I had some homeboys from 90s, some from 60s, and we was all hanging out. So we was like, since we hanging out and we cool and we all on the West Side, why don't we click up?
Yeah.
And it grew to something big because it really helped us a lot in the game too. Cause when you knowing everybody from different sets, so I can go over here because that's my homie. So
Right,
I can,
right.
You know what I'm saying? So it helped out. So like, I ain't gonna act like I didn't have issues though, because I had issues with me being over there in red, and
Right.
it's like, what he doing over here? But then,
Yeah.
you know, I had like Solo and the rest of Lunatics, they like, he's supposed to be here.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Because of course, when I met you, I was 14. You know
Yeah.
what I'm saying? And I'm sure at that point you had kind of toned it down a little bit,
Yeah.
but still at that point, read everything.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You ain't scared to
Yeah.
show it, none of that shit, no
yeah,
matter where
even
you
when
at.
people used to come to the studio, like some of the Crip homeboys, they introduced their little homeboys to me like he's a G over on the West Side. Don't matter, he ain't from our team.
Yeah.
Respect him like he is. You know what I'm saying? And they did. So
Yeah. And having that type of respect, you obviously put in the work for it. You know what I'm saying? We ain't gonna dive into that. But through that time, I know you had your daughter.
yeah,
How old were you when you had your daughter?
I want to say 15, 16, yeah, somewhere in there.
Man,
15,
all that
16.
going on, right?
In that same little,
How did you navigate that?
well, the thing that kept me like leveled was my grandfather.
Yeah.
Through all of this, he was real like churchy and morally he's the type of person that can walk into a room and respect everybody in the room.
Yeah.
And he taught me that that's why I'm so good with different people from different spots, because he taught me it don't matter who people is, it's more about how you treat them and how they treat you.
Yeah.
So if you respect everybody, you know, it get mutual and stuff.
Right.
So and he died when I was 17.
Crazy.
Yeah. So
This is all through teens.
yeah.
What? So all right. So shit. I guess stepping in, because you at this point you already a grown man. You
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? There's no such thing as 18, 21 in your world.
Nah.
When you actually, you know, became grown man, you in the world, you out here now. Like, you know what I'm saying? There's no passes for nothing you doing. Did you tone it down a little bit?
Oh yeah. Yeah, I had to because of my daughter. That's when I really was trying to focus more towards the music than the streets, but it still kind of was bleeding in. But
Yeah, yeah.
yeah.
Which leads me right up to my next question I want to ask you. What made you start a label?
Well, all this music stuff wasn't even about me. Like, it originally started because of Solo and Duo. I met them when I was younger, and both of them was growing up. They was the ones all of us was like, dang, they can rap, and they, you know what I'm saying?
Straight up.
Like, so me being the homeboy I was, my idea was to learn the business, because I'm a hustler. So I'm like, I'm gonna learn the business, and that way they can rap, and then I can run the business.
Right, right.
So what happened is, it was this guy I was at school with named Rusty, and he had a cousin named Tay that ran a label. They was called Untouchables.
Wait.
And supposedly they had a connection with Death Row. Like, even their logo was like Untouchables, and it was kind of like the Death Row logo.
Get the
Yeah. Like when you walk in they studio, it was a big old mural. Just, it looked like Death Row, but it said Untouchables and
Get the fuck.
and all
Okay,
that. Yeah.
okay.
So, and then when I went there, he took me there and told his cousin what I was trying to do, and he introduced me to Kurt Dog, and there was a guy named Pac-Man.
Yeah.
They was like his studio engineers. So that's when I sit down with Kurt and Pac, and they basically start showing me the equipment and stuff that you have to do and stuff.
Wow,
So
wow.
That's kind of how it got started. Yeah.
Crazy. And what year was that?
I want to say this was around 16, 17. Yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay. When I joined you, damn. What year did I want? Nah, you sure it wasn't before that? Cause I was a part of maybe like the second or third team of Big Minutes.
You was on the second, cause I only had
14.
2. Yeah.
And that was in like 2009, 2010.
Yeah, 2010. Yep.
Yeah. Okay. And cause I know, like you've always told me, you didn't want to be the rapper, but you had your run, like for real.
Yeah.
The Naughty single, like that shit was buzzing in the city. I remember one of the craziest things. Y'all had won the Oklahoma street label type shit, and I was 15 at that time. And to me, bro, that shit was like, what the fuck? I'm a part of this shit? Like, what? And just seeing all that, I didn't get to see the band before that, you know? So I'm just trying to figure out, for you, what was the switch to be like, okay, I'm gonna go businessman? Like, I know you said it bled over with the street side, but when I met you, it was business. Business.
Okay. Like we just said, it's basically was 2 Big Menaces.
Yeah.
The first one, I was business, but I wasn't. And I did it with KT. And I had artists and everything, but it was more on some hood type thing. Yeah. And I had a meeting one day with my whole label, and one of the artists said something to me that was like, that made me change it up. He was like, who is you? Like, who are you to tell us what to do? Like, you don't have no music, you ain't doing nothing, so who are you to tell us how to do what we doing?
Yeah.
So then, and I knew the stuff because from being around Kurt and them, but I didn't have nothing. So what he was saying was kind of hitting me, but then at the same time, I'm like, fuck you, you know what I'm saying?
Challenge yourself on me.
But so when he said that though, it made me think like, okay, so until I do it myself, nobody's gonna listen to me.
Right.
So that's when I start trying to rap myself.
Makes sense. And then, like I said, at that point, when I met you, Naughty was booming. You know what I'm saying? You had the team set up. For me, being a young nigga, stepping into this and seeing everything for what I seen, it was just mind-blowing to me. You know what I'm saying? A lot of people don't know we was recording at the Trap. You know what I'm saying?
I told you, it bled in a little
We was
bit.
at the Trap, you know what I'm saying? And for me, it was normal because I grew up around, you know, shit like that. But when I met you, it was a totally different experience because I was used to being around Crips all the time. You know what I'm saying? When I walk into your house, I see the red man down on TV. I'm like, oh shit, we in here. You know what I'm saying? This is the Hell's Kitchen. This hot. But seeing how you've maneuvered through all that and still keeping your sanity as far as like that shit.
Am I saying though? Oh, yeah.
I mean, shit, bro. Dealing with all the egos and shit you dealt with. You same to me. Being an artist, running a label, can you tell me, like, was there any good things that you had about that? Were there any good moments where you were like, man,
all of it was good.
All of it?
Yeah, I have this conversation with Reap all the time. To me, yeah, a lot of it didn't happen, and a lot of people was falling off and stuff. But my whole thing is I went through it.
Yeah.
So I experienced it. So I know now. You know what I'm saying? You gotta take some of that bad stuff and learn from it to know the next time how to react and stuff. And that's basically what I did.
Yeah.
So that's why, like I said, when we did the Big Menace the second time, it did better than the first time.
Yeah.
And if I did it again, I think it'll do even better. But
right.
Because I learned every time from everything. I'm one of the people that I really learn from my mistakes.
Yeah.
Like if something happened, okay, I remember it and I know next time I need to go this way.
The other way.
Yeah.
I want to ask you, man, what was it that you saw in me that I didn't see in myself?
Okay.
Like the patience you had, the you know, at the time for me, I'm watching everybody on the radio. Y'all doing shows. I'm too young. I can't even get into it.
Yeah.
But you was always like, this gonna be, you know what I'm saying, the ticket right here.
Yeah.
And I mean, even to the point where you poured in hella resources to me when I've, you know what I'm saying, got into it with you where I didn't believe in it myself.
There was a lot of that, nigga.
A lot of that. I want to ask you, man, what was it that you saw or looked out for where you was like, yeah, this is it?
It was because you were young and you didn't want to stop. That's what it was. Because that's the same thing like how you said about me,
Yeah.
how all that stuff happened when I was young and in that
Right.
one spot. I seen the same thing in you. Like, even when I kept giving you tasks,
Yeah.
you went and did the task.
Right,
I
right,
had
right.
grown men from the label I get a task to, and they give me $1 million, you know. My baby mama tripping, you know, all kinds of like, nigga, just write the song.
Yeah,
You know.
Just write the
But
song.
you would do his stuff, you know what
Yeah,
I'm saying,
yeah.
and come back and be ready for more and all that. And I'm like, okay, he want to really be an artist, so
Yeah.
I need to focus on who really want to do it, and the other ones kind of wing them out, and
Yeah.
that's when, you know, that's why you the only one.
Which is crazy.
Yeah.
It's crazy. And I will say, hey, Ben was right about a lot of that shit. Ben was right about all that shit. Y'all should have listened. That's all I got to say, man. That's all I got to say. No shots taken, man. But like, people need to know this as well. There wouldn't be no Trip G. There wouldn't even be this interview if it wasn't for you, man. You actually did my first interview when I was 15. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Nah, but for real though, like straight up. I didn't want to be in the camera. I was not trying to do that shit.
Yeah.
And now look at this shit now, you know.
But see, that's what I've said about you earlier. Like, it's because you do what you're supposed to do.
Yeah,
That's.
yeah.
I can tell anybody anything and how to do something, but unless they do it, it don't make no difference.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. And the biggest things too that I always respect, man, I appreciate, even to the point to where I want my daughter to know how much I appreciate you. Knowing your backstory, knowing all the shit that you was into, you could have easily put drugs in my hand, put a gun in my hand.
Nah.
You could have easily done all that shit, but instead you took the time and like actually showed me the craft, taught me how to run Pro Tools, taught me how to like engineer and do all that. For you, of course you did it for no get back or anything, but if there was something that you could change for yourself and your career, what would it have been?
I don't know, to be honest. That's funny you asked me that. I really don't have nothing. I just want everybody that I mess with to actually make it.
Yeah.
It's funny because I had a conversation with my mama not too long ago, and she brought that up. She said my failed rap career. She said that to me, and I was like, when she said it, it made me think like I didn't fail, as far as I know, because I thought, because everybody that I wanted to do something is doing something.
Right.
So,
Right.
as far as I'm concerned, I don't see nothing else I would have did different.
Yeah.
Because, like, even before I got locked up, I was having this conversation with a friend of mine, and he was asking me about the meaning of life.
Yeah.
And I was telling him, to me, the meaning of life is we live and learn, and then we pass it on to somebody else so they don't make the same mistakes we did, and the next will be better.
Yeah. Yeah.
And that's how I feel about the whole music thing. Like,
Right.
I went through the stuff and did everything I did and learned. So I want to pass it on so that way they learn, and next it'll get better and better.
Yeah,
And that's
yeah.
how we'll build the whole thing. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah. Straight up. And that you have done. You know what I'm saying? Even at that time where you had left, I wanted to talk about that. For me, I would consider it the free BAM era. You know what I'm saying? I've dealt with people that's been incarcerated. You know, my uncle was locked up for 20 years. We would go visit him, see him. My pops was in and out, shit like that. You were the first person close to me like this that went away. At a point in my life where it was like, oh, I need this nigga. You know what I'm saying? Like, Raya is little. I'm trying to manage the music, manage life. You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of life conversations that you taught me and had conversation with me with that's grew me. You know what I'm saying? But in that time when you had went, what was it like for you when you had to deal with it at that time? This last run you had to deal with.
To be honest, I kind of knew it was finna happen. Because I was going through something at the time, and I kind of gave up.
Yeah.
So, like, I went. What I did was I went in harder than I normally do. That's how I knew it was gonna happen.
Yeah.
Like, I was going so hard. It got to a point where I called my wife. She wasn't my wife at the time, but I called her. I said, "Hey, I'm finna go." I called her like at 2 a.m. and said, "I'm going to the penitentiary." And she was like, "Are you getting pulled over?" I'm like, "No. I got this feeling that I'm finna go, cause I always could go deeper, cause it's just like I said about the music and life. I learned growing up from starting selling that. I knew I can get bigger and bigger in it.
Right.
And I had a situation that made me like say, fuck it. So then when that happened to me, I said, fuck it, and start getting deeper into it. So I made a couple calls to where I was getting.
Yeah, I remember.
Yeah.
I remember that time.
So then that's why I was like, fuck it, I'm just finna go all the way in, and I did.
Yeah.
So being in there when I went, I was mad it happened exactly when it happened, but I knew it was gonna happen. Let's just say that.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah.
The crazy thing, at that time we were working on your album.
Yeah.
And I was doing the production for
Yep.
it. And I was over there every Tuesday, you know, faithfully. You know, that was where I wanted to be. And I remember talking to you about wanting to sell drugs myself and asking you about it, and you was straight up. You was like, hey, you either gonna either end up dead or in jail. And then literally the next Tuesday, they hit you. That shit blew my mind. And for me, like I said, it was, you've made sacrifices that you don't even know that you made. That when I look at my daughter and look at my brother and my people, I'm like, okay, I can't do this. You know what I'm saying? I got to make a better decision, which keep me pushing with the music. And man, I just got to tell you to your face, I appreciate you, man.
Oh,
everything, like, you don't even understand.
That's
at the
what's
point
up.
when you came into my life, bro, it was like, damn, I needed this, man. So when you left for that period, I had to find myself out in the world, straight up. It was
My
it was
daughter
tough.
said the same thing.
It was tough.
Yeah.
I was like, damn.
Yeah, my daughter called me while I was in there, because, you know, of course I had a.
Right.
And she was like, Daddy, I didn't realize how much you was doing.
Yeah.
Like, I got to do all this by myself. I'm like, yeah.
There was a,
Yeah.
we ain't gonna go into too much detail, but there was a situation when I got robbed. People had broke into my house.
Yeah, I remember
He was the
that.
person I went to for that.
Yeah.
And not having you there anymore to make them calls, it was like, oh, I gotta do this. I gotta man up. I gotta handle up. You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, again, for me, it was different. But I'm glad you home, man. Like, straight the fuck up. Now you married, man. How's that?
It's okay. Nah, I want to say I love my wife.
Right. Straight up. Yeah, we see that. I know the man that you are. I see that. I see the compassion towards it. But what made you say, I'm ready to
Well,
call
I
it
kind
and do
of
it?
always wanted to, because it ain't nothing like having a teammate.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Somebody, when you're going through stuff, somebody that's gonna be right there. You know what I'm saying? But I could never find nobody, and a lot of people didn't take me serious because of who I was.
Right.
So they was on some stuff like, "Bam, you playing? You ain't serious." Like, it's a lot of people that say that to this day. They like, "You still married?" Like,
Right.
I don't know if I believed it myself, because even when I asked my wife, she said yeah, but I think she thought I was playing when I asked her. But you know.
Yeah. Now we're here.
Yeah.
How long have y'all been knowing each other?
Ooh, we met each other when I was about 15.
Yeah.
She came to Chandler. Yeah.
That's a long time.
And it's crazy because she talked about it, because she did her a year. She wasn't even supposed to be in Chandler, and she moved to Chandler for 1 year, and that's when we met, and then she moved away.
Wow. Y'all met in Chandler.
Yep.
That's crazy. I didn't know that. I didn't know that. I did not know that, man. So I ain't gonna take up too much of your time, fam. I really appreciate you for having this conversation, man, diving in, us getting a chance to know you. Shout out to the Blunt Convo fan. If you had any advice to give, like, someone that was in your position, or like a teenager that's dealing with life in a hard way, what would your advice be? Because a lot of times they don't see this other side of life starting there early. They don't get to see this part that you know what I'm saying, getting to live. What would your advice be to that person?
Stay focused on whatever you're doing. Like, if you want to be a singer, rapper, or even a drug dealer, like, whatever you want to do, do it. Don't just do the fun stuff that comes with it. Do everything and pay attention to your surroundings at all times. And no matter what you're doing, and you'll make it.
Yeah. That's a perspective people don't give, but it's that real shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's the real shit.
Because I ain't gonna sit there and tell everybody don't sell drugs. I sold drugs, so
Right.
to each his own, man.
Don't
you know?
sugarcoat shit. Just be safe with it.
Jay-Z did it, and he's billionaire. Who am I to say not to do it? You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, man. Well, again, fam, thank you for joining us, man. I love you.
I love you too.
And we out, man. Blunt Convo.